Hello. Wanted to give you an update on one topic that is particularly interesting to me at the moment, and this is how periodic fasting can make your journey to enlightenment or your self-development journey easier, how it supports it. And the first thing is in biological terms, it's the BDNF factor that's increased by periodic fasting, and this upregulates neurogenesis. And neurogenesis is the building of new cells, of new nerve cells in the brain, also when you are an adult, not only when you are born, where most of the um, nerve cells in the brain are and neurons in the brain are made, but it's also possible when you are a human. So this increases functions like memory and attention. And the next point that's really fascinating about periodic fasting and brain health and personal development is that you learn the control of impulses. Because with this, you basically do the same as in your practice of awareness. Basically, raising awareness is to learn how your brain comes up with all these impulses that you or usually people live out. And but with periodic fasting, you gain control over your eating, and this is showing you in several ways you will experience just how your brain and emotions tie into your eating. And this will teach you quite a bit. Also, your hormonal profile will change, because with periodic fasting you will also most likely eat in a slight caloric deficit, so you will be doing caloric restriction, and this changes your hormones to a point where you are more calm, where you're more focused, more concentrated, just naturally, because you are not in this go 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 mode as your hormones usually are when you are eating normally. Also, there's a change in fuel utilization, because with periodic fasting, after several months or weeks, you will increase the likelihood of your brain being able to use ketone bodies as an alternative to glucose. And what people have reported is that when your brain is running on ketones, is that they feel much more stable in their emotions, much calmer and more confident, and so on. And this is also one point that's probably supportive of self-mastery, self-growth, and this journey of learning about your brain and how it works. Another thing is greater awareness of how your emotions tie into your action. So this will reduce your reactivity, because you have learned how your mind produces your desire to eat, and you can take this, what you learned from there, also to other parts of your experience. You will be able to see how your brain comes up with emotional reactions. This whole chain of the first input, the first impulse, the emotion, and then your action to satisfy this emotion. And also, what is important with eating is how you feel several hours afterwards during that time. Because most often people overeat and they feel bad afterwards. But without sufficient awareness, there's no connection being made between these two states. That actually eating too much, during your eating, you should be aware of how it makes you feel for the coming hours. And yeah, as I already mentioned, it's an easy way to implement caloric restriction, which in and of itself has many benefits for longevity, for example. And I mean, being healthy for longer ultimately increases your likelihood of becoming highly aware of your own self, of this world, of your surroundings, of your mind, which is basically your universe, to learn more about it. Yeah, and this is also, who doesn't want to live healthy for longer? So it also is good for this, in this regard. Yeah, this, and the last point I want to make for this topic is that probably what's today is very well known is the 16-hour, 8-hour intermittent fasting, where you fast for 16 hours and then eat for 8. I think, or in my experience, this is not really doing the trick. You have to fast for longer to really reap the benefits of intermittent fasting, I think, because you want to be for longer in a state where your glycogen, at least in your liver, is depleted, and be in a completely different fuel utilization state. And all the benefits really, I think, start at the 16-hour mark. So if you break the fast there, probably not the best way to do intermittent fasting. It's good to start, to train yourself to run on an empty stomach and then slowly increase maybe, but for me it was easier to just jump in straight ahead and do 20-hour fasts and longer. Now that I'm at the moment implementing a 1 meal a day diet, which means I'm eating for only 1 hour per day. But this is a topic for another video. So just wanted to give you these points of what periodic fasting can do for your spiritual journey or your self-development journey.